Hi, in this first lesson of Module 3, you're going to be acquainted with your prospect's demographics. And by demographics, we mean the characteristics of the population, which is in this case the characteristics of the population of the niche you've chosen. Now, I can't stress this enough. To identify your target audience within the overall population and to be able to recreate a complete picture of the characteristics of your target consumer is important. Now, this is especially true once you start doing any type of ads, including but not limited to pay-per-click, pay-per-view, banner ads, or media buys. Now, we need to get at least some basic information about them, such as which country is most engaged in your niche, gender, age, education, are they married, how many children they have, even income levels. Now, this can be quite tricky at first since we're not advertising yet. Now, we don't have an idea or concrete data who are our ideal customers. So our goal is to at least get some basic information to get us started for a more targeted campaign rather than having a campaign first and then shoot blindly and waste all that advertising money or effort we spend on free or paid traffic. Now, there are several ways to do this. First is through searching sites like Quantcast and Alexa. Okay, so Quantcast.com is a very useful site, although it may be sometimes limited. Plus, you'd also get your audience's level of insatiability or their level of addictness, if there's ever such a word, to your chosen niche by getting the web traffic frequency for both global and US markets. Basically, it tracks how frequent they visit these kinds of sites. Now, to do this, go to google.com or Bing or any search engine that you prefer and type in the search inquiries related to your niche. Now, in connection with the previous module, when you type in your queries, you must act as if you are the consumer. So if your niche is about photography, what do you think your potential customer will type into the search box? Okay, more or less, they're going to type along the lines of digital photography, photography techniques, how to take stunning pictures, right? Now, do the same for your niche. So what do you do next? Now, get the URL of the websites that you think is related to the question and is well suited for your niche market. Gather as much URLs as you can. You'll know why later. Okay, so one basic way research is to go to Quantcast.com. It will actually give you the characteristics of those people who are visiting that particular website. Now, the only downside to this is that if the website you chose doesn't get a lot of traffic or is not yet on Quantcast, you won't get the information that you're looking for. The same goes for Alexa.com. Now, both are just the same when it comes to use. Let me show you an example. So open up a new tab on Google and type in your search phrase. For this example, let's use digital photography, assuming that my niche is digital photography. So using the above niche, I queried digital photography. Now notice there are suggested phrases by Google, which you can use if ever you run out of ideas when choosing a sub-niche, which we discussed in Module 1. Okay, so of course, a bunch of websites are going to appear about digital photography. Now, this is where it gets a little bit like work. Now, don't worry, this is still simple stuff, but it requires focus nonetheless. So grab all the domain URLs of all the websites on pages 1, 2, and 3, and if necessary, several pages more. So if the URL says digitalphotography.com/lesson/go, just get the main domain name, which is digitalphotography.com, without the HTTP and the www. Now, you have to put these in a spreadsheet or anything as long as you can have it noted. Just get as much as you can from the first 3 pages. Done? Now, here's why. Some website information cannot be quantified in Quantcast. In fact, for the digital photography keyword, the first 6 results on this screenshot, including the ad, don't have any demographic information using Quantcast. Now, I did, however, find one on the 6th one using the domain name Digital Camera World, and petapixel.com, which I found on the succeeding pages. So on the Quantcast search bar, enter the domain name that you acquired. Again, you have to leave out the www part of the address. Okay, you'll automatically know if a website has available demographic for a particular site or not at the moment you search for it, because once you scroll down on the resulting page, you'd be seeing some demographic information like this. Okay, now you've done great. Click on the See All button on the top right portion of the US demographics part. Okay, we're going to use that for a more detailed view of the demographics. So let's scan these for a bit. So looking at the data available, it would be safe to say that the people who are interested in digital photography are dominated by the male population, 26% more than their female counterpart. Your target audience age would be 25 to 34, followed by 35 to 44. Now this information, by the way, is golden, especially when targeting for Facebook ads. This can actually cost cheaper clicks. Now most of them don't have any kids. And another thing is they are affluent, meaning they have the capacity to buy, which is a good thing. Now they are predominantly college students, and most of them didn't graduate, and most are Caucasians. Now, do you now see the power of this? Now, from an advertising standpoint alone, this can save you tons and tons of money. But that's not the best part. You see, other marketers might tell you the exact same thing I just showed you. That is if they do research at all. But this one simple button can change the whole dynamics of what you just found out. Okay, so let me show you. Going back to Quantcast, you see this little button right here? Try clicking that and you'll see what I mean. Now what happened? Your results just got a bit more different. Here, let me explain. If your audience is in the US, judging by the new data we have, we can assume that it is now in fact dominated by women, and your ideal age is now 35 to 44 with 19% instead of the 25 to 34 we had earlier. Now, most of them still don't have kids, but only by a 2% difference. Now, they are still affluent, but no longer on the 100,000 mark to the 150,000 mark. And there were no changes on the education part. And since we're targeting the US, mostly would be Caucasian. Now, see the difference? That single button alone changed a whole lot in our targeting. Now, the thing I'd like to point out is that you can also check what other websites your potential clients or customers frequently visit right below the demographics below you click the See All button. You can use these websites for media buys and banner advertising later on. Another interesting factor to take note of is it also displays where this traffic is coming from, whether it's from mobile or desktop traffic. You can even identify that if it's Android or iOS operating system if the traffic is mobile. Now, in this case, we now know that people visiting these kinds of sites do it more on their desktop and not on their phones. So this is great because most marketers are going mobile. But judging from the data we have, I don't think it would be much of a difference and we can just stick to desktop. Now, this information is really important when trying to create an ad campaign. If you know that most of your market comes from mobile traffic, then by all means, enable your ad to target mobile traffic for your campaigns. Now, a different way you can search for demographics is through the Google Display Planner. Now, if you don't have any login info, then you just sign yourself up. Or you can use the login that you have for the keyword tool that we had earlier. Now, don't worry, it's free. Now, this time, go to Google again and type in Google Display Planner, click on the first search result, and you'll be prompted with the login page. Now, once you're able to log in, under Get Ideas and Estimate, put in your keyword. Now, in this example, just so we're consistent all throughout this module, I'll again put in digital photography. Now, the difference between Google Display Planner and Quantcast is that you won't need to scrape websites to get website URLs to get results. In fact, the keyword or keywords alone will do the job. Okay, so get your targets configured and then just press Get Ad Group Ideas. Now, once there, you'll be seeing the age brackets, the gender, and the device they use to access the sites related to photography. Now, what do I do at this stage is I try to combine the ones I got from Quantcast and Google and get the average. Now, it would be beneficial to use two sources for a more accurate approach than just to rely on one. In fact, the more sources you can use, the better. Just get the average. Because Quantcast data relies on the URL you provided, whereas Google's data pertains to all sites related to your niche instead of just one website. There's also the Microsoft Demographics Prediction Tool, and it's also as accurate as you can get. It is the equivalent of the Google Keyword Tool or the Google Display Planner. Now, all you have to do is try to search for a search item like the one we did with Google and hit go. Again, do not forget to cross-check your results with the other tools we used earlier. So there you have it. There are a lot of tools out there like Alexa.com to check your customers' demographics, both free and paid. Although paid options will be better targeted, the free options are also fairly accurate at most. Now, I don't want you spending for something as trivial as this, since you'll be getting real data once you start getting customers. Now, if you're in a hurry and want to speed up the process, you can always build a fan page for your niche and advertise for likes. That way, you'll be able to analyze your traffic better through Facebook Insights, and doing it this way is the fastest. I repeat, the fastest and most accurate, super targeted way you can obtain your future customers' demographics. Knowing your exact target's demographic, personality type, and spending habits ahead of time gives you an advantage above all your competitors. This will minimize testing time, guessing what product to make or promote, and wasted advertising funds. Okay, now in the next lesson, we're going to know our customers better by giving them a face. That's it for this lesson.